Hi everyone, my name is Dhruv Goyal and welcome to my channel that is Learning Under 10 by Dhruv Goyal. Today we are discussing one of the sets which came in CAT 2018 under DI and LR section. It's a money exchange set. That's a very good set, I would say, right? So let's try to let's try to understand what was the question all about and where people went wrong and why this question some certain people found difficult. So question says the base exchange rate of a currency X with respect to a currency Y is the number of units of currency Y which is equivalent in value to 1 unit of currency X. Currency exchange outlets buy currency at buying exchange rates that are lower than base exchange rates and sell currency at selling exchange rates that are higher than the base exchange rates. That is quite simple to understand. Now question comes, a currency exchange outlet uses the local currency D to buy and sell three international currencies, that is P, Q, and R, but doesn't exchange one international currency with other. This is simple. They are using only D as a base currency to exchange things. The base exchange rates of P, Q, and R with respect to D are in the ratio of 1, 120, and 100. The buying exchange rates of each of P, Q, and R with respect to D are 5% below the corresponding base exchange rates, and their selling exchange rates are 10% above their base exchange rates. There are certain non-facts that is given to us. That is, the amount of D used by the outlet to buy Q and R is in a ratio of 3 to 5. Here, this is like they've bought certain currency in the form of D. The amount of D used by outlet B to buy equals to the amount of D received by selling P. That means here they are selling and buying both. The other point is all about sales of Q and R, that is, they are selling them. And 88,000 units of Ds they have received by selling R on that day. They had certain currency in hand and they have ended their day with certain currency. This is what the known facts is. So let's try to solve these questions with certain part of that thing, right? We know that we have three currencies, that is P, we have Q, and we have R, correct? There is a base exchange rate, there is buying rate, there is selling rate. They have certain units in hand, maybe I would say base units. They bought certain units, they sold certain units, and they end their day with certain units. So the buying and selling rates that are given to us, I guess so, if I'm not wrong, it is given to us as 1 is to 120 is to 100. Now, this is not a ratio that is given to us. We are not sure whether the value will be 1, 120, 100 only. So to be on the safer side, I'm just taking another value, 2, 240, and 200 as well. Now, buying rate is 5% lower. So that means this value becomes 0.95, this value becomes 114, this value becomes 95, right? And selling is 10% higher. So this value becomes 1.1, this value becomes 132, and this value becomes 110. So definitely, if I've doubled the base exchange rates, even the value will be doubled by this as well. So I would say the value becomes 1.9, here 228, here 190. In this case, 2.2, 264, and 220. I'm sure about base units as well because it is given to me that for P they have started with 48,000 units and they ended with 51,000 units. For Q, they started with 4,800 units and they sold 4,800 units. And for R, they started with 2,500 units and they sold 3,300 units. So I guess the same things goes below as well, correct? And there are certain known facts. Let's try to work on those facts as well. The amount of D used by outlet to buy Q and R as in the ratio of 3 to 5. So for buying Q, 114 and 95, we're talking about same ratio. So I would say 114A divide by 95B is in the ratio of 3 by 5. 3 by 5 it is given to me. Yeah. K by 5. I will, let's try to write it this way. 114A and 95B and the ratio of 3 by 5. If I try to solve it, right? So this becomes, if I say, if I cut it by 5, it becomes 19, it becomes 1. Cut it 3, it becomes 1, it becomes 38. So A by B comes out to be 1 by 2. This is one value that we have to remember. Just think with a certain color, right? The second point that is given to me is the amount of D used by the outlet to buy P is equal to the amount of D received by selling P. For buying P, he's using 0.95 exchange rate. So I would say 0.95 C is equal to selling is 1.1 D. If I solve, C by D comes out to be 22 by 90. Just take this value as well here. Last but not least, the amount of D the outlet receives from the sales of Q and R are in the ratio of 9:5 by selling Q and R, right? So here again, the ratio becomes 132 and 110. I'm just taking E and F in the ratio of 9 and 5. If I say E by F comes out to be 9 into 110, and this becomes 5 into 132. The ratio comes out to be 3:2. Okay, I just marked that thing. And last but not the least, it is given that the outlet received 88,000 units by selling of D by selling R on that particular day. So the rate of R is 110 or 220. If it is 110, he must have he must have sold 800 units of R. 88,000 divided by 110, or here it must be 400 units of R. Okay, so that means I have used all the pointers. Now it's time to use that time to solve it. If I've started a day with 2,500, I ended a day with 3,300. That means I got 800 more units. I've sold 800 units already. To get for 800 more units, this value should be 1,600. Correct? And it is also given to me that ratio of A to B, that is Q to R, is 1:2. That means of buying units. So here the units become 800. If I'm getting 4,800, I started a day with 4,800 units of Q and ended a day with 4,800 units, same units. That means I must have sold 800 units here as well. Here the ratio of Q to R, the selling part is coming 1:1. But here I'm getting a ratio of 3:2. That means this is not a right working for me. But let's try to solve it here. Again, I'm 2,500, 2,500 means 800 units more. I've sold 400 units. That means I must have bought 1,200 units. This value becomes 3,700 minus 400 gives me 3,300. And the ratio of Q is to R is 1:2. That is, we have found that it becomes 600. This value becomes 600 again. 600 by 403 by 2 means bingo. I got my answer. Here the ratio is 22 is to 19. 3,000 units more. That means I must have bought 22,000 units. I have sold 19,000 units. That means I got my answer. This is what my answer is. If I see the question, how many units of currency Q did the outlet sell on that particular day? So answer should be 600 for that particular day. What was the base exchange rate of Q with respect to D on that particular day? 240. How many units of currency R did the outlet buy on that particular day? 1,200. What is the buying exchange rate of currency P with respect to currency D on that particular day? It's 1.9. And how many units of P was sold by outlet on that particular day is 19,000. So answer should be none of these. Now, where things went wrong in that particular question is we took it as 120, 100, and we didn't take it as a ratio where the ratio would be 2 to 14, 200. There might be possibility I would have not got the answer through this way as well. Might be I had to take it for 3, 4, whatever value is. But the 88,000 units, so whatever value should be, it should be a multiple of that particular value so that I get what an integer answer for that. I hope you understood this answer and you don't have any queries. If you have any, please do mail me at queries@throughcoil.in. Till that time, thank you very much and have a good day.